just woke up to luxury goods are all made in China.
More than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China.
Rich women, they just wear fake bags.
Scoffs are only for the broke? Think again. Rich New York women love their fake Birkin.
And those OG influencers are selling all their luxury items.
I'm selling my Hermes bags.
Then is luxury dead?
Who makes all the cosmetics for Lancome, Dior, Chanel, and L'Oreal. It's 2024 and you still don't know who are the suppliers behind Dior? Louis Vuitton and Chanel will hate me if I tell you this, revealing the secret behind big brand.
Do you recognize this style, this bag? Of course you do.
China is fully prepared to fight to the very end.
Yeah, and China will lose the US market, which as I've said is 15%.
We don't care.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline. I'm a luxury content creator and a luxury lover at heart. But aside to that, I'm a business owner, entrepreneur, manufacturer, and I live half of my life at a country that we manufacture many products that they are sold all over the world. Aside to that, I live half of my life here in the United States, so I have a thing or two to share with you. After this big bomb became viral, exploded on TikTok, it has been seen in the news and is literally a response to the tariff now imposed by Trump's administration. I don't want to get political, that's not what I'm here for, but what I'm here for is to tell you the truth and for you to do not be deceived by these content creators that they are popping up on TikTok. Now, some of these is a true reality. When I started my video saying that I was born in a country that manufactures a lot of goods for United States and other countries alike, I'm talking about Peru. And I know that's not China, but living in Peru, I was in close proximity to many people that work for factories, some of them sweatshops. Yeah, literally back on the time, I'm talking about 25 years ago, and even up today. If you haven't heard the scandal with Loro Piana, how they get their precious wool for vicuña in Peru, and the little amount of money that they pay to these poor people to get the finest of wool in the whole world, and then charge thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars at their boutiques.
Loro Piana using unpaid labour for their vicuña knitwear. But an expose by Bloomberg has reported that they've been using unpaid labour and exploiting Peruvian communities in harvesting vicuña fibre for their knitwear.
For example, their $9,000 sweater, which is made from vicuña wool, comes from a community of people in Peru where they are paid just $280 for an equivalent amount of the fibre. So the fibre, the wool that goes into a $9,000 sweater, nets a community of people $280, which means there's not enough money to go around.
I will be leaving some research on the description box below so that way you can get a little bit acquainted to all of these issues. Now, going back to what just happened and what it blew up in TikTok, are these content creators referring that say Hermes, Chanel bags, they are made at their factories in China. And in all honesty, I was not gonna do this video, but many of you had asked me for my opinion. And here it is, my sincere opinion. And not rooted in truth or facts, everything alleged, but I know a thing or two. There are many things that yes, they are produced in China and in other countries, that they get finished at other European countries and then label it as the country where the garments or items were finished. But I don't want you to get deceived. I have heard people that right now are running to get their ticket, go to China, thinking that they are going to be able to buy an Hermes bag, not only one, but 2, 3, 4, or even more, to then put them to sell on the pre-loved market. Oh my gosh, the big trouble that you will be at, because Hermes bags are not made in China. They are solely produced in France. And there's a couple of reasons why, and this is not in defense about Hermes. It's simply because I have people that have worked for Hermes for many, many years, and they know the ins and outs about how they are making the bags. And they are, yes, all made in France. Additionally, as a manufacturer myself, not of leather goods, not of fashion items, but of other things, it doesn't make any sense that all of these raw materials, mostly the precious leather that some of these companies use to produce their handbags are of European origin. Why in the world they will want to send them all the way to China and then go back to Europe and then be sent to the entire world? It doesn't make absolutely no sense because it will cost them so much money. Those who are manufacturers like myself, you know that there's import duties, there is, like the traveling of the goods. There are so many things, insurance. There's so many nitty-gritty things that goes behind producing, manufacturing an item that you just have to be very cautious, because ultimately, if you're producing an item, it is to be sold to have a really good profit margin and not to be at loss. With that being said, I'm not saying that other brands, say Chanel or even Prada, although I used to live in Italy and I used to live about like 7 minutes away from Prada's headquarters, but regardless, I cannot say, confirm 100% that those brands, they don't use other materials, say from other countries, or produce some of their garments in China. I cannot tell you that 100%, but I know many high-end brands, mostly high-end brands, those that cost kind of like mid-range, that they are not luxury items, they certainly not only produce most of their items outside United States using materials that perhaps are too expensive or not easy to find here in United States, and they have to produce it in other countries. Not only that, manufacturing something here in the United States is very expensive. There are not that many craftsmanship. There are a few, but it's hard to find. Like, for example, I just opened not too long ago a chef's table with my husband, who is a chef. I designed it in a way that it will look like an oasis, and for that I wanted it and a specific type of table. And although this table has been created in the past and has been seen before, I wanted it certain specifics so that way the table looked like water is cascading within the top and then at the bottom. And I went ahead and asked for quotes in different countries to see if I was able to get a less expensive option with good materials. At the long run, I ended up producing it here in the United States with local craftsmen that they are just like 20-30 minutes away from me, and I'm just so happy about the results. But it's not always the same way. Taking into account the United States is a big consumer. That's why many other countries find on us, in Americans, a great market to sell their product. Now, going back to these bags that are shown on TikTok, those are simply and raw replicas. And I know, because those who do not know, to get a Birkin bag, not only you have to be a solid client at Hermes for a long time, have a spend history, but you will not get, most likely, like 50% of the times you can get your dream bag, as I did, but 50% of the times you will not get your dream bag. So it's a long journey. And I know that a good portion of my subscribers are those who have been following me for a long time for my luxury beauty content, and those who follow me for my luxury lifestyle blogs, where I share with you my shopping blogs at Chanel, at Hermes. We do unboxings together. But I know many of you come from my most unbelievable Amazon luxury designer lookalike finds, like this baby. Now, this is not branded, and yes, I got this at Amazon. So all of those bags that you're seeing on these TikTok videos are certainly replicas. You know, if you want to spend your money on a real bag, well, so do it. You know, it's your pleasure, it's your life. You can then resell it. You can pass it along to someone else when the time comes. If you're in need of, I don't know, funds, and you just need to sell your bags, then you sell them. And if you decide to buy lookalikes, that you do you, boo. You do you. And that's the same reason why I was getting ready to go to work, which I gotta go really soon right now. And I said, you know what? let me turn on this camera because I feel like so many people are not understanding all of these. Yes, there are items that are made in China. It really doesn't matter whether they are made in China, in India, in any other country. Listen, if you want to be unique, you go to a tailor and you purchase a textile that is unique to yours. You draw your own design and you ask for that tailor to make a unique piece just for you. That's the only way that you're going to find uniqueness, because believe it or not, you will cross with somebody else, mostly in the United States, with a piece of clothing, a bag, a piece of jewelry that is exactly as the one that you have. And I see it with a very analytical eye because I have lived in both sides, the side of the manufacturer, the ones that we sell stuff to United States. And when I'm saying stuff, I'm talking about even food. I mean, like, have you realized how many times we eat like a strawberry off season and where it comes from? Yeah, asparagus off season, peaches off season, and so many more things. There are so many things that they are manufactured elsewhere. Pieces that I have in my home. You know, some pieces are made here, some pieces, they are simply not. That's why we have this global economy, and that's why we cannot just contain ourselves anymore in this little box, because it's not gonna work. I'm telling you, it's just not going to work. Our younger generations, they are all involved into technology. There are not that many people as in the past that they would like to be a carpenter, that they would like to be a leather stain, someone that repairs watches. And we all know that. And I'm hoping too that you don't take advantage by these content creators that are trying to sell you one thing for another without you knowing that these are replicas. If you want to buy it, if it's your satisfaction to do so, not for reselling purposes, but for pure satisfaction, you can do so. That is your own alternative. Do we, the people that we buy luxury, do we get extortion with these high prices? We do. We pay for the floor, the rent, the champagne that we drink, the beautiful building that we enter, the leather couch that we sit when we buy luxury. That is part of the luxury experience. And we, the ones who buy luxury, we know that, and it's upon us. Now, as I'm not judging those who buy a replica item, a look-alike item, which, by the way, many of the luxury designer houses, they dupe themselves so much. Like, look at these bags that I'm gonna pop up here. It's insane. I mean, that Loro Piana L19 bag has been duplicated 1,000 times by other brands. The Margot bag by Ro has been duplicated by Prada, one alike by Ferragamo. I mean, there's so many inspiration items. You just decide what it fits on your budget, on your lifestyle, or even if you have a ton of money and you just simply care less and you just want to buy whatever and rather invest on other things, you do you. I just feel that at times there is this really awful discussion of people judging the people who wants to purchase luxury, and then this awful discussion from people that can afford luxury and buying luxury that are so upset because these other people that are not part of their society status getting alike bags to them. I just feel like, no, there's a disconnection right here. We need to be humans. We need to let live. Now, I know you're going to ask me about, well, it's not okay to take the design from someone else, replicate it to make money out of it. Totally get that and totally agree with that 100%. Now, about these TikTok videos that they are appearing like crazy and going so viral, and they are being taken out. Like, by the time that I'm uploading this video, I'm pretty sure some of them have been already taken out, but some of them have already appeared on the news. Do you think if they were real manufacturers of these products, do you think they will not be in big legal trouble for all of these? Yes, they will, because to be a manufacturer of any goods, regardless whether they are luxury goods or not, it's like the secret sauce, the secret recipe that, by the way, I will be launching a new product very soon, and I will be sharing it with all of you friends. but there is confidentiality agreements, contracts from the source of like the raw material all the way to the last piece of the production. And if someone breaks that confidentiality agreement and all the contracts that are all like interlaced, boom, they go to court. Yeah, there's some legal issues after that. So don't be mistaken about this. Please, please, please do not. Is it a reality of things? In certain scenarios, there are. It could be, you know, garments. It could be, like, say, the hardware or certain pieces. And in regards those big influencers, they have decided to get rid of all their luxury handbag collection or shoe collection or whatever it is the case. That's something completely normal. We all go through stages in our life that we just are looking or have come to a point of change, a point of like either growth simply by, okay, the stage where you leave at what you do, things that they don't serve the purpose, and you either sell them or either donate them. And it happens to all of us. We grow, we live, we experience, we change. We don't stay on one stage, and we should not be judging those people. I know sometimes they come across like, oh yes, they are just judging others because doing so. If they do it in such manner, I don't think it's fair for anybody. You know, if they decide to sell their luxury bags and just use any other high-end bags, or just, you know, I don't know, like a plastic bag, you know, or whatever bag is the case, that's their own decision. That's fine. I know we all start our YouTube channels or content creation at a certain point with a niche, right? And sometimes we just want to move on. Sometimes we are bored and tired of what we're doing, or we just see all of this doesn't fit on my lifestyle. I just don't want to deal with anymore, because yes, there's some sort of liability on all these items. We have to take into account that, you know, they can be stolen. Yeah, I mean, there's so many aspects about this, and that's something that is just a personal choice. I don't think it's wrong, it's bad. Yes, some of us will be like, oh, that's sad. This person has changed so much. It doesn't resonate anymore with what I was looking for. Well, look for another content creator then. And if you had become so passionate about the personality of such content creator, then support that content creator in whatever way it fits, because it resonates perhaps with your life, or you just have some sympathy with that person. So anyhow, friends, I want to hear from you, your thoughts about the whole discussion about, is luxury dead? I don't think it's dead. I don't think it will be ever dead. I think it's just simply changes in economy, changes in ideas, new generations. It's just a thing. It's just a rotation. It's just a normal thing. It always happens. It will always happen. And this kind of quote unquote news that they are not really news, they're always going to become viral at a certain time. I mean, a few years ago, we were talking about rich women using only fake bags or fake bags, and they were laughing at us, whatever. You know, a couple months ago, we were talking about sweatshops, so working bag, and so forth. There's always going to be this kind of news, but I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts? If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you're not done watching my content, I will be leaving a couple other videos at the end of the screen that I'm sure you're going to love. See you there. Bye-bye.